How many of you like a nice warm soup on a cold, rainy day? Well, I have the perfect recipe for a yummy, comforting soup to help on those days. My grandma passed down this recipe to me at the age of 4, and I still make it to this day. Today, I'm going to show you a couple easy steps on how to make my grandma's recipe on sopa de fideo, or also known as sopita, for the cold season coming up. So some of the supplies you're gonna need is a medium-sized pot. This is preferably what we use, but depending on how big or small you wanna make your soup is gonna depend on the pot size. You're gonna need any cooking oil, honestly, you can use. Preferably, I was just taught to use vegetable oil, but you can use any oil of your choice. You're gonna need half of a yellow onion. You can choose more if you're making a bigger pot, but half onion is what I've always done. You're gonna wanna get the fideo noodles. Honestly, you can use any of them. I know that this brand has a couple different types of noodles. There's stars, letters, or shells, but the fideo cut is the one that I've just always used. Chicken bouillon, or if you're vegetarian, you can also use the tomato version. Either an 8-ounce can of tomato sauce or the full can, I believe it's 15 ounces. Like I said, just depending on how big or small of a pot you're making. Garlic salt, and then the cilantro is optional because I know a lot of people don't like the taste, and I know a lot of kids won't eat something that has cilantro in it. Okay, so the prepping and cooking process. So before you add anything, you're gonna wanna let your pot heat up just a bit, and then you're gonna add your oil and your onions in, and you're gonna wanna stir it for about like 1 to 2 minutes till the onions start to get a little bit of a color, but don't wanna saute them too much. And then you're gonna add your packet of noodles in and just stir them around until they get golden. The picture that I have right here, you're gonna want to make sure it just gets a little bit more golden, but that's the best picture I could find. And then after that, you're gonna wanna add your can of tomato sauce, and then water about more than halfway. You don't wanna add too much water because then it's gonna take the color away. And then next, you're gonna add 2 spoonfuls of the chicken bouillon. But honestly, it just depends on how you want it to taste. You could put more or less. And then for the garlic salt, I don't have any measurements. I just put it in till I like the way it tastes, and I know everybody's different. So I would just say add it till it reaches the taste you like. And then in this option is where, in this process is where you would add the cilantro, but like I said, of course, it's optional. And then when you serve it, it is best served with lime or lemon and a little bit of Valentina. It's hot sauce. And then it can also be served with cotija cheese. A lot of people like to put crema in it and stuff. And I'm showing two different types because everybody makes it different. Some people like to add vegetables, or some people just like the noodles. Yeah. So in conclusion, today I demonstrated a fast and easy recipe to make for this winter season coming up. I showed you what supplies you will need, the prepping, the cooking process, and how it is best served. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I shared with you guys today. Thank you.
Forgot I was on mute again. Okay, so you guys can go ahead on your own after each speech. So the evaluator would just come right in after the speaker. And then after the evaluator is done, the rest of you guys can chime in with any quickie comments, just if you have a very fast comment. Okay, so Rebecca, you can go ahead.
Okay. So just kind of saying like what I've observed, that kind of thing. Not actually. Was I supposed to be filling out the sheet as I go? Because I couldn't.
You don't have to actually fill it out. I was going to do that with the Microsoft Forms so you guys could be doing it online, but I just gave you that as a cheat sheet to kind of guide you in your feedback.
Oh, okay. I think overall it was really great. It definitely made me really hungry. I think a few things. One would be instead of like listing out all of the ingredients from the beginning, I think maybe like I would have added that in with the steps.
Mm.
like with it as you go instead of like sitting and listing things, because I think that's one of the things he said he didn't want us doing. Um, and then just off the top of my head, I would say there's a lot of repetition of the same words, kind of like, oh, just how you guys want it, or are using the filler word a few different times. And then, but overall, I thought it was really great. Your conclusion was really great because you went through everything we just talked about, and felt like you kind of connected with us because you're like, oh, the cold season's coming up. Like this is something that's really great to eat during the cold season, and I really like to make it. And you did make it sound really easy to make too. So, like, because I'm horrible at cooking, so this is like I could totally take this and like do this myself. So overall, I thought it was pretty great.
Thank you.
Okay, good. And then now, oops, I forgot to stop the recording. So anybody else can